certain things like the 529,600 something get annoying, especially now is the beat. It's my third, I was during finals week of my last semester of college, but I will say I'm planning on coming back to this game working some bosses. Next up on my list is Dark Souls 1. I know, get your little hate comment fingers ready. If I was being objective, Dark Souls 1 would probably rank a bit higher on this list, but after my last playthrough, I really just didn't enjoy it much of the others. I think a lot of this is due to the slower pace of the game with the romance. I can't deny how incredible the connectivity is in this game, and I think it would have been roughed up a few spots and then continue through the second half of the game as well. It's also slowed down. It's definitely fun to certain extent, but I think they executed that part better than later. Boss fights just felt slow, and fighting multiple enemies is such a pain in this game to your speed, which makes it hard for them to look as fun after playing the other. I think the story is really strong here, so it's a shame I don't really care about it at all. I just like to play. One, it's a video game. I think it's executing comfortably for the time, and I'll always be known for I just realized these are all really good so far, and I have a feeling that I'll change it soon. Dark Souls 2 almost ranked a bit higher for me because it was by far the most addicted I've ever been to a video game, and I genuinely have no idea. I played Dark Souls 1 and 3 first, and for some reason this game just got me. This one I actually started during finals week of my fifth year here in college, and within 3 days I had over 24 hours of playing Dark Souls 2. Needless to say, I had to do a couple of professors up after we think around like science school. Like a different form of exploration with Dark Souls 1, and it's almost hopeless. They kind of set things over starting later on in the game, so it's interesting to find out. This one is also the best part of the series, with the best and I can say that I kind of like the quantity approach to this series because it's a bit slowly to do the books, it's a bit fun. The set is better with it also has some of the most aggravating levels, enemies, bosses, but I still love it for that. Oh, and also the fashion, weapon variety, the conditions like the bonfire settings and breakthrough branches that get a lot of absolutely. Moving on to number 4, this is where it gets the once again, get those little typos ready because we're going to tell you. I don't think I need to explain this one much more, although it is an incredible game, but I personally prefer a bit more directive in my games, specifically how FromSoft does it compared to the game shows. So the one is awesome, and I love to see it again. But I kind of consider being a little bit more fun. A lot of the new bosses were way too easy for me, and call it okay, because if they were harder, it would have given me a lot more playtime. But then if I try to keep myself under level, the main bosses become a really challenge. It's just a battle that could be inside of my soul. It's a lot of my experience. Aside from that, though, the game is great, and so also the super fun to explore, there's like a big bit of a fight that the variety is so much fun to see. I love all the little people that have to make it more place for everybody. It's so much fun. Like this dog that I really find that it's like so silky, I consider the boss. This one is extreme 5 take my first soul. I'll never forget so great. I know a lot of people are pissed because the rolls were too fast, but I think compared this too fast for combat from Mod 7 and also don't be a boomer, embrace the change. Come on. I will say after completing all the Souls games, it's definitely one of the easiest, but some of the bosses still give me the most trouble of any game in the series. The ending and DLC bosses feel perfectly balanced and give that feeling of satisfaction that drives us all to say get good to the range of still struggling on there. I will say I think most of the levels are pretty unpleasant. If they were any better, Dark Souls 3 would have been my #1 spot. Pretty much all the levels not because they're super hard or complicated, they just don't feel super creative inside of these. Another small issue I have is how easy it is to R1 scan through most of the enemies in this game. You don't make the game feel like a joke. But I still think this game has some of the best and enemies part of the range. It has some of the highest highs and the lowest lows, but it's probably a game the this particular boss is like so big and good. This is the perfect way to end the trilogy, and it's my favorite ever completed Dark Souls game. Before we get to number 2, just give me 10 seconds to think something that'll make your life a lot better. If you want to get access to games and DLCs early, or watch shows you normally couldn't get access to, you can get Atlas VPN right now for only $1.99 per month. So into the description and try it out now and more like that. The ones they do have are some of the best in the series, and they never get old. aesthetic and theme of this game is a big part of my love. They designed the world was incredible. On top of that, the level design is amazing. The way they connected the world was mind-blowing every time. I think everyone loves this game for its horror theme, but it's a shame they still haven't made a remaster. Let's be honest, it's basically free $70 for all of us if they just remaster the game. One thing I didn't like about this game is how confusing it could be. I played for more tons of times, and I swear I still have to look something up at least once in every playthrough. Before you call me an idiot in the comments, I still have feelings, actually. I don't be sensitive at this point, but still I don't want to hear it. The other issues I have with this game are small things that I've touched on before, but things like the finite healing system, trying to farm for the blood vials and bullets can be a pain to use among her. Not being able to rest or travel from places is a pain as well, and that's really more of a game. The challenge dungeons are one aspect that most people seem to hate, but I actually don't mind. Surely if we get Ryan, but we've played through the main game a dozen times already, it's kind of nice to have something optional to switch it up. But I think the core combat elements in this game and the rally system are what really make it great, and I'd love to see this return in a different style, like a Western or a futuristic game from the developers in the future. Or just Bloodborne 2. Anyway, moving on to the one that's going to piss everyone off the most because it's not even technically a Souls game, we have Sekiro. This went from my least favorite FromSoft game to my favorite in the span of about 6 months. It's forever to be this game because I kept kind of playing like a Souls game, but on my third attempt at playing through again, the combat finally clicked with me. The level design, the combat flow, the bosses all make this game absolutely perfect for me, and obviously I never let FromSoft game there. I think it's going to stay like that for a while. A lot of people dislike the lack of jokes on the screenplay ability, but I don't know why I feel like I can play this game over and over without being sick. The boss structure really solidified these tools for me as well, so this is the opportunity to fight bosses over and over and really master each one of them. The way I describe this game is the hardest to learn, but the easiest to master. And once you master it, it doesn't get boring, it just gets more satisfying. In the other Souls games, if something is too easy, it's just not that fun. In Sekiro, it still gives you that rewarding feeling for each boss because you know their moves so well. The only thing that makes me debate if this game will stay at number 1 for me is the lack of content. Alright, Joe, this is the run. I can feel it in my bones. So on. I don't care about feeling your bones, you freak. I just want to prove to you. That's what it's about. Right on. I ride a bike against the police. This was like one of the country. Jesus Christ, don't be from the progress. It's literally like learning to get good boots. The reset in the game, fuck off. All right, people, as long as mine, Donald Trump, and the presidency. Muslims, and Obama barely, I can't practice my skills bullshit. The last episode, skill-oriented training. It's the flying type shit. I would be looking at the ideally, I can explore around the zone, maybe even I'll get Christ in the hell of God. I do not care. So anyway, as I was saying today, I will be taking us to the upcoming, oh my God, for the love of Christ, blessing the Father, it will actually just all the while we go extra like process. No, long on the busy, we don't fall them for the it's actually okay. Donald, as much as I love you, birthday, I think you from can you just finish up? All right, with that, give her tears on, okay? Yeah. You know, that's the this time I'm taking us through this long-ass route on the way to Livingstone. I'm also going to try my best to get through Mount High to take care of the team. I believe that's when they still the way. Well, of course, I don't spoil it. Out there still talking students. Ah, yes, the giant blue monster of the sea. And we pray on a daily basis with some kid wearing our blue those great big chef with red on. I don't think something. Those very alright, sure. Yeah. Not everything has to make sense. I don't quite understand where you're coming from, Don. I don't see how the people do. So about step. This is a step that you have to make. It's sitting with them. Back there, belt. What do you mean? Well, I mean, like the strength of it. Then it's totally unanswered questions. Don't be things for the thing. Distort plan is one of them. But also, the pattern will be fire red supports another. Okay. Well, the president, all right, whatever. It's just evolving after commonly water. It's true. It's Japanese development. And so, guys, you haven't heard of people. Lock yourself in lady. That's why we find the Sunday days At this print, we print signs so people can see your brand up close. But we also print signs so that people can see your business here, see it here, and see it here. Cool with a nod to Japanese culture, which is the basis for some of the mysterious locations of Pokemon.
Are you done?
Yes, Joe.
Good. Please touch the fucking grass along.
All right.
Seriously, I've never been more disinterested in an explanation to a question I asked in my entire life. It's like, as soon as you said Yugimoto or whatever the fuck, I wanted to hit myself with the neuralizer from Men in Black.
Do you guys not even realize how douchey you are to me whenever I get into things I'm passionate about, or are you just comfortable being bullied?
Jesus Christ. You guys not even realize how no one gives a shit about this conversation. Vinny is out here, one shot in this blood catching Jeffrey Dahmer looking motherfucker. You two are crying over some things that I stopped paying attention to 3 minutes ago. Get back to the gameplay for the love of God.
Jesus Christ, Joe, inhale 2 puffs every 4 to 6 hours is needed for 30 days.
Donald, the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, those are just the instructions on your Ventolin inhaler that you are clearly non-compliant with, you asthmatic fuckface.
Jesus Christ, all right.
You know what?
Yeah, we are so incredibly off topic right now. I don't even know what's going on. You're right, Joe. We need to get back to the gameplay, like ASAP.
All right, so I'm giving Keckley on some shrooms. Because it looks like the type of thing that takes shrooms. But also because she doesn't need the experience share, but we have like no space in our bag right now. A lot, we really need to go through and clean this thing out.
Again, I'm not sure why that's kind of responsibility, but something like this is not second. So if you're going through the possible like this,
Okay, so here's what this there. You know, watch this place.
Some of them have leftover patients. The left of all these feathers to explosive blocks of the United Protein context. If we decide to do that. But then there are others that can be made in countries like and I think that the younger, if there this introduction the block position.
All right, so that's fair enough. Well, we have to it's following along. The best at finding gets out of it. I think we're going to go through the test. So I have to get all the various like it's time. The fact that it's going to be
Anyone who's played the station, goes up. Exactly, how can you forget a couple of times?
It's just no good. That is slacking on everything.
Won't help.
Anybody going that? Donald, you seem to be pretty critical of the jet during the Safari exam. Which one do you like the most in the city?
Well, it's interesting you put it that way, Obama, because, well, you're right. I don't like the whole safari zone. My favorite is probably the other jet 3 days fire last week. It's got that obviously traditional feeling. Well, I want to say it's better than unique Pokemon and content. Here's the place that's present. Obviously, there's Pokemon
Really?
Okay, so that means great. Joe, why even ask about the wild areas? Because, well, all right, let's go ahead. Anyway, great mark. Just get to that looks great. Let's do it every area. There. You can also catch whooping and quagsire. Some of my favorite Jersey boys. Jesus Christ, the reasoning of a child. You get right. You look through binoculars, and then, yes, of course, you are partial to the extra chromosome looking ass, shitty water ground types.
Donald thinks you're going too far again.
That's what she said to Mom.
All right, anyway. I think I have to side with Donald on this one. The Kanto Safari Zone is probably going to be for this one.
Fucking Joe.
The Great Marsh is just way too slow paced. Given how slow Gen 4 is already, but getting stuck in the mud in that game is annoying as hell. And then the Johto one is pretty forgettable as well, although the switching of the zones is a pretty neat concept in itself. But Kanto Safari just has a big phenomenal feel of nostalgia. People who play everyone's their favorite Safari just need to experience. Wow.
Great question.
Fuck out.
Of going through the fucking swamp to get Pokemon. It's inside of me. Thanks.
That was a lot of damage to the active part. So I think it's either the specialized fire or the 4-time super.
That should get you a point of them. All right, so hopefully it's either fire or ice. So that's good. That's the coverage you have. Bug is terrible. It's coverage, photograph, and also good coverage for science. Excellent. Standpoint, that's good for better.
To address type special attackers. Also, we have the Giga Drain PM coming up soon. So that's something that should probably be from the sky as well.
Focus during the no items in battle on that was crucial. All right, so another person to randomly call me. I load up the game next week. Great, thanks, Kristen. Okay, so you're definitely on the grab. There's not too many. But it looks like I gotta get this. All right, HP up. Go on taking tighter over here.
While you're at it. That's
Wait a minute. Let's do this. Let's get much better. Very good. My man, I'm just excited to finally get it connected. Without being interrupted by all these things. Surprise, this is going to be only one. I could not hear the rest of the script about your opposite sexual relationship.
All things considered, the department store, port, contest hall, overall, there's a lot of places to store. Memorable. So, at the game, you know there's no gym here.
Yeah, I think that you remember one thing. Anyway, Pokemon, regular Android, definitely not going in there. I don't want anyone to get out calling me to tell me they just took their vote over their cat.
Little graphic guy, but all right, here's the contest hall. Talk to the receptionist there, and she will give us the Pokemon case. Now, not only can we go into the Safari Zone, but we can also make some Pokemon specific events. We can do that next time.
Yes, okay, we still talking. That's awesome. Okay, yeah, we can come over here and make them. And oh wow, look at that. It's still all by himself. Making some already.
Oh, he's my ass don't know, but no comment.
Yeah, no thanks anyway. Moving on. All right, fuck that. Them hoes are in like a culture or some shit.
God, you're incredulous. Why did it bother walking into these places if you're not going to everyone knows
Hello
you talk to Edward Trench.
Well, I hope... Oh, hogwash. My name is... Hi, Journey. Be careful out there. Oh, yes. Of course she's going. Where's Treasure? I saw this. I was with this Morris on the seas, and they're rather brusque. I still have to check. I'll leave this one.
Anyways, back to each other's lives. Ain't no wrong with this. Like the jail left this gap or over here might want to come back.
I don't have any case, Donald. I'm going to fucking step.
Hold on. You know what's about to happen, right?
What's my God? Yes, I used to do.
Oh, look at his turn. Joe Biden. Dolls in the first. No, it's not here. I can't wait to next week. There's a phone lady. I don't know where yeah, I would not be.
Wow, the character development, okay, wow, Jim, I'm starting to realize it's just
good stuff.
good job. Oh my God, something is hard to recognize it for the balance for a show.
They reflect joy stuff. Provided sorts of joy. Sure you're lucky.
Everybody takes it down. You can have it. This is the last time we got it.
Can we talk about it again? This is the last life of life and previous generations are liable to the what is it? Rebellious we embodied by a level 2 Big Bag Ability. And from all the Pokemon knowledge passed down to her, he decided to stand, sweet set, and protect his
Up to this point, it comes to this battle with multiple grass types, multiple flying types, and multiple water types. Pretty lackluster, all things considered.
Wow, nice gold up there. That's going to do something for you.
All right, guys. It's time to let's
Josh, yes, those to reduce the seventh shift, which is completely ridiculous. Judge division up to work. And we're not about to play.
The cost of the matter what is the difference everything you can do as the solution works. The first battle is to be the second battle has the field strategy. The third battle is a run and a speed run. And then the last battle in this one is the go. It's like you decide to not take it.
all right, man. Thank you both. That's in fact at the battle. Guys, you don't know. Pokemon combat. For that. Sure, troops there. That's beauty contest. Feeling shit like that.
Here's the party episode right here. Boys, come on, baby, show me the money.
No,
Oh, God,
this is like impossible to win. It's like a 100,000 thing.
Yeah, I always thought that was stupid as hell. I've never seen a winner do it for
I'll
golf.
spell here's my ass. That would have been so bad.
That shit is actually possible. Please.
Yeah, all right. It's like it's taking out the bag. You're going to get hot dogs to do it. Because I think that fighters have to do with the fact that they are limited supply, getting it done. So Game Freak didn't want him to just come in the other side and they have to pay it.
Here we fucking go, Max Rebel. Let's go, baby. Touch those dudes.
Also, aren't there like a bunch of good communities? To throw Pokemon Christmas. Buy yellow.
Why the hell are you buying such a steal?
On our couple of physically attacking normal types would win us an entire battle if we desperately needed to.
Yeah, so let's talk about TN. And then with you guys sitting on Facebook and maybe on talk about our own Pokemon. I think we should hold off on John Lee, Dolph Phillips. Basically all things. I think the rest of us is upgraded. People do it, but everyone else probably doesn't. All the field, they change.
But I'm not over that. So, what do we do? I agree. A lot. And then, you can look up this and stop with it. No one wants to stop it away like it. It's just sort of and get that. I think it's the whole rocket. And so, that is just for the getting power guys. What do they do?
How many of us get on with it and make our way up to that? Well,
Okay, that's fine. So if I'm not mistaken, the whole PS conversation doesn't you get shadow balls.
I believe you're right. Guys, see, we go up from here and go all the way to the top. The shadow ball PM will be waiting for us after it's finished.
but we can't wait. That one thing you're talking about the other day.
Yes. That was another discussion that goes on.
All right. I had a couple shout outs. There. All right, so first thing first. Shout out to our boy Lee. Big in the ball last week. We'll give a shout out to Nick. Who had the last all right, so our boy S&D, small time string, he's been a big supporter of the series for a while now. He ended up reacting to it. He also helped out. As for express, he was singing happy birthday. What? First song. Let the block know, Joe, we're not singing the goddamn happy birthday. Happy birthday. What the fuck is this most happy birthday song? Something you off there? Knowing Jill's hand, this video is like a week after his birthday. Whatever, most is quick. Anyway, this is what other shout out you can have, Jill? All right, so one of the things you have to pay us is favorite for. This is real cool. We'll give it $60. All right, so first off, you got Big Ed Smith, Steve Stan, he made some questions. Let's move on to the
Big Doctor. Right. I've done it, but it's a video of 30 seconds that.
you know, that's actually violent.
Back, yeah, what else does he do? It's like the advertising.
Yeah, look at the link in the description. It's got a whole bunch of
Wow, it's the same fucking guy again.
link in the description.
Should I just go and fucking fight their Suriname and just finish off the rest of this place?
He was barely just a little bit of power.
Oh, it's just a few games, that one.
It's just because they're Hispanic.
Yes, yes. All right, anyway, viewers, context here. This motherfucker Iris has been commenting on like every video since episode 1. About their love for here. They have probably put this community on its kitchen on the one doing right
Yeah,
now.
so it's like the ones you see on the good ones, the money is check them out. You get there, whether it's you look at that.
Exactly, so open accounts for living in the state. Seriously, like, don't do anything else.
Iris pleasing on Donald is good. It's a consistent engagement. Please don't put it.
Whatever. The bomb that you sent to the corner, might as well have spent five. Or you're not the woman has bitch.
Donald just said, train her. That's fine. Yeah, I know the timing on that one's pretty important.
If you get on the city and go, you can lie. What?
He's right, I didn't say something. Happy now? The Bobby Obama.
Hey, all that is wasteful as hell. Why did you do that? You should have just used them until...
So we can just get the top already and we can chat it all.
Nothing else. Fire blast and fight for six. So, you're right. I think some fire companies would be and we're fire systems also. They're not necessarily
I guess I thought that it was the always thought fairness sounds right. Slow down. Voice tone. Only difference is bearing something big. Like now you're like a guy who gets on his back. Not gonna lie, I kind of covered myself with a good go. All right, well, if we're being honest, yeah, I thought we was doing something. Where's that going?
Donald, I think there's just a couple more battles here. Keep the moving, talk to heart, and we'll finally be able to say, what's the story in today's episode?
Yeah. All right, that's fine, Obama. I'm still on it.
and forcing down the system.
Is that a chandelier? To see light, however.
Yeah. So, we want to know about our wisdom from what's your ability. And there's a lot of things from there who show that ability. For the prize of the dance, and do something like that. What the size of this is, there's something of presidents that focus on truth. But do not hear that. Make sure that it's a chance to try to write a story, to write there's more content at a faster rate what comes to this. So,
Not too just
yeah, people bring yourself and talk about it because it's good. It's just good.
Ah, yes. But first, ah, yes. Now, boy. But first,
So basically what you're saying is, or because of the story, architecture, didn't anticipate the story.
All right. Maybe this old guy has some answers too.
I doubt to get the father to do that whole thing.
Let's just talk about the whole thing. Maybe there's some reasoning to it that I didn't think of.
Welcome back. All right. So just the 3 games tonight in the National Hockey League. So I'm doing something different. The standing board is not at this board because it's very little good change. So I figured, I'll do a little bit of a news update after this because there was some news I feel like one of these games made that I can do an update on. So we'll go ahead. We'll start things off talking about Washington and Chicago. It's Thompson versus Comesso. Comesso is at 10 compared to the other Blackhawks Cowboys. All this going into is the coronavirus is the one thing that pipeline if somebody has it, that there's always the possible business highly debated. So here's Washington. They want to post the 2 so that's more to the Capitals will destroy. This is a net to get the first shot on that. There's already 12 from the assist. So Capitals had 1-0 against Love on the line. Capitals put up the sprint by Washington at 6-0. That's likely something that is on the top down. A monster on power play that comes to minute 52nd and 5-on-3. The Capitals ended up throwing that up and had a dreadful 6 shots altogether, so there were opportunities. They just could not beat Thompson. Then at 15:07, McMichael Berry's won 5-0 on a fast break. Ryan Leonard with the assist. So it's 2-0 for the Capitals. Then late in the period at 18:54, break. Deposits won from Max Close to make it 3-0. The assist to Carlson and Dowd. So after the first period, it's 3-0 in favor of Washington. And I felt bad for Comesso. Honestly, second period, we get a power play for the Capitals. It's a shorthanded rush by Dickinson that's defended. That power play is filled up. The Capitals get some pressure at 5 minutes. Good forechecking by the Capitals as well. The Hawks draw power play for the Tuesday. Close save by Thompson and Close. And then at 8:48, 5 seconds left in the power play.
I'm missing something. Oh, yeah, I know what I'm missing.
So that escalates 3-1. Drops for 6 with 8 minutes left. And then at 12:38, he scores the assist to Michael and Leonard. So that makes it 4-1. So you get a power play for the Capitals soon after that. For the Scotland down to Hopkins, Cronstedt, that's Tom Hill. It's 4-1 Washington. Very good. The Barons tonight on the rush. The Hawks president shot for 3-1 Chicago in 3.5 minutes. Get a power play for the Capitals. Get on the Hawks. Those Hawks pass the little post to the Flagger and Pierce don't Capitals. Inside. And then at 13:32, with 1:25 left, get a power play for the Capitals. Let's the talk. 5-1 win to talk to the Capitals with that victory to push them back into the number 1 wild card spot. They're 23-16-6. The Hawks 18-19-7. The Blonde. Understandable loss for Chicago tonight, honestly. Shots on that 10-6 Chicago in the first, 10-6 Washington the second. Both teams had 8 shots in the third. Final shots, both teams had 1-4. Power play for Washington, both for 3. Chicago 1 for 4. The hits 23-13 for Chicago. Thompson saves 23-24 for Minnesota. 19 saves on 24 shots. And now Chicago needs to get ready for another game tomorrow. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how many players are flying up, how many are not. I guess there's probably going to be some more than not. All right, moving on to taking the Jets. Denver versus Connery. Niederreiter has rushed in some stage. And then at 1:31, Mesnikov gets a point shot in. It's his first goal in 29 games. Nice to see Stanley and Niederreiter with the assists. The shots are 2-1 for the Jets in 5 minutes. It was fast first period, very few missiles. Byfield and right chance to get inside. The games to draw a power play. The back scaled off. The team's trade rushes and turnovers after that. Then Morrissey has the shot to salvage. The Jets gets the pressure. We get a power play 4-1 type. That's scaled off. 3 shots on that during that. Great press by Washington by the Jets after it's done. And then 18:05. Getty, very cross-side pass. Sandberg and Pearson with the assist. So 18:05 in the first period. The Jets are up to something definitely with minutes. In the second period, Mesnikov gets to the took it close, got into the held, and then at 2:07, Kane was very calm and increased for his first to 47 games. The guys, they get going. Washington, Winnipeg. My rates are blunt, so is Friday. Then we're perfecting with the assists. It's like my brain was actually, yeah, well, you know what, I just really shut off this down. I really shut this whole week down and down here. So Jets will get the path to the net. The shots are 2-0 Winnipeg 4 minutes in. Connor has a reference to the block. The Canes pressed in 7 minutes. Momentum was shifting to LA. Conway shoots their call. The Canes scored. There's goal interference challenge. I didn't think this one was coming back, and it did. So it ends up counting. Byfield was at the crease, but he didn't interfere with the goaltender. That's a 9:32. Ward and Fogle with the assists, and of course the Canes get a power play in that. However, it becomes 28 seconds of 4-on-4 on the other side. The Jets run the power play, and it strikes the new scores in that power play. By on the Canes defenders skate. The assists to Connor and Mallory at 12:35. Hey, 11 goals are still goals. They don't have scale, there's how many. That wide one of the rush gets held shot. There's been the four for the Jets with the from the one circle on rush. Gets straight into the second of the game. The assistant for Betty Mallory. Don't take the standing 5-1 lead after 2 periods. Third period, fourth starts the third. Morrissey gets David on a drop block and a shot of the drop there. Drops in 3-0 in LA in 4 minutes. Fiala then has a shot was blocked as the Kings press. Things get pushed in a hole by Comrie. The shots are 7-1 at the halfway mark in favor of the Kings, but it was nice to see Jets fans chanting for Comrie. It's nice to see Comrie in the net. Give him some games. Held up a bit of a rest. Anyway, Captain appears to be yes, that's what I they lost the Jets and went to the Jets spot, and they ended up winning this in spot 1. With that win, the Jets 16-22-5, and since they have more regulation wins than the Canucks, they're no longer last overall in the standings. Thank you for it. The Kings 18-15-10, and with the results from this night, the Kings find themselves outside the playoff spot they occupied coming into today. Shots on net 9-5 Winnipeg in first, 7-piece in second, 12-3 LA in the third. Final shots 24-19 in favor of the Kings. Power plays, LA 0-3, Winnipeg 1-2. The hits 23-22 for Winnipeg. Darcy Kemper 11 saves on 16 shots. Forsberg saves 3 in the league, not Disney. Connery 23 saves on 24 shots. Can't see other than Canada. All right, and the last game of the night, St. Louis and Utah. So Hofer versus Pavelka. 2 seconds into the game, Toropchenko had a fight with McVeigh. Snuggerud gets denied during some early pressure. The Blues draw power play. That's killed off. 4.5 minutes into the game, the shots were 4-0 for the Blues. Snuggerud has a rush against that save. They're suppressed by the Blues at the half. And honestly, the Malcolm's able to scoreless at this point. The shots are 10-3 for St. Louis with 7 minutes left 5. At 15-10, Paul, about 3 bucks scoring for the man. He is this to count third check.
Yeah, the upper my turns on with the
Yes, it is a doctor of one thing. It did not get placed instead. It was a captain. So it's 1-0 slot. In the first, thanks for the third Logan, got that save, dropped it 2-1 for the damage, 4 minutes in. The straight to the Stock prices in 5.5 minutes for the catch to the outside. Sam then had a play with 10, both players ended with 7 minutes on that play. So initially it was very 7 shots, but it ended up being all the then at 7:45, Kelly was right there to the shot in the field. Kelly was leading with the assist. It's not that I thought they were on a good fit at the leader rate. 10 seconds later, let's see those chances.
You fell. That's good. Trying to deal with you right now. Come on.
This there was 2:35 left to do. On third period, still off. Thomas and then it's yes, live, really good from almost to them.
It's check.
Resolving edit. I have help. So keep you guys go to the back of the meeting. Access to the okay. I don't be fine with the matter of scary. Get the next thing. So we get a complex of so Rob dropped the 4-1 for 4 minutes. You probably start with that is lost to the Richards and lost to Sergio and Keller with success. White said Utah was the Blues spread the 8.5 minutes, but man of block, we had a close for the Staters. Prescott gets it, suspending us off. Thomas returns to the action right here. With 4:23 left, the Blues gets power play. They pull the goaltender 10 seconds left to make it 6-on-4. The Utah men finished the kill, and number 205 on St. called the foul, called timeout. We already discussed that timeout does not work. Utah wins this one 4-2. They go 22-20-3, and with this result, they are now the number 2 wild card in the West. St. Louis 17-20-8. They're not the playoff spot. But Utah got that first. St. Louis was first, trying to get on second. Power play from over the field, St. Louis 1-2-3 for Utah against 25 shots, but offense, 26 with 28 shots. And the top of Utah, the second short from this board, the one is great after this game. Here to provide an update on Utah that was on the board. So let's go to that one. Alright, so in the news today, the Utah men basically made a request to the fans. And so going into tonight's action, I was like, you know what, I'll hold off on the news board, and I'm glad I did. So basically the fans were whistling during the last game against Ottawa. Apparently got really bad in the third. I feel bad I didn't see that game. But apparently it got bad enough as well as the atmosphere game, right? So the one day anyway, brought the internet. But the players wanted the whistling to stop because whistling is how coaches signal to players, they signal to the goaltender, obviously whistle. The whistle itself is used by referees to signal the end of the play and all this. So it's causing confusion on things. So the players now play the power play on the set, just wanted to stop. I did see some fans pushing after social media or something that well, we get it, you guys are supposed to play. I thought it was just entertainment and thinking. But if they don't, here's the only person that they for example, so I wanted to wait update actually. I heard no one's so this fight was hello one. I didn't hear anything. So it definitely seems like the fans representing come live. This is definitely something that I know that fans in Europe whistle. That's the way they do it. And I actually think the whistling sounds compared to the but I get what the players were saying here, and I think it's great. The fans seem to have understood, and that was not an issue tonight. So good on them. And so that's why one of the reasons why this board is here now. Sheldon Dries was recalled by Detroit. I'm a big fan of Sheldon Dries, of course. It's on the smaller side. Very much a fan of players with smaller stats to maintain hockey careers. Jonathan McGurk for the Sharks won't play tomorrow against Dallas, but he may return Sunday against Vegas. So Lindbergh has been having a good year for San Jose. Not good playing on Sunday. Had him for Vincent Jones. And there's a lot of responses. The rivalry series between the USA and Canada, the USA has been just winning big. And teams that Team Canada sending over for the Olympics very, very similar. The upset seems to be they're not enough the other players, but they're not enough turnover, which is it's the same thing I've said about the men's team. It is the same argument we've had with Team Canada for decades. They're very often able to get goal with play, goal with their experience. The youth and this giving the Americans something different going in against the comments of the wrong. I don't care how so it's good. Something we have the advance will run well into the reveal. The Buffalo Sabres have been host tournament this year. So they're going to have a slot. I guess they're going to have to talk about much. They're now starting remotely. So it's going to be done this year, although it shouldn't take 8 hours for each draft pick this year. They're trying to speed up the process. So thank you. And no more years for more looking rooms for the players to be in, talking to the DMs with a lot of the time to work. So the last time the draft was talking about 2016 was the year roster was overall. On the games, 2016 17 games. Was the game last night, and he scored 41 points over that time, which is pretty darn good. So, Connor McDavid continues to do Connor McDavid thing. Tonight, Connor Stars in the WHL defeated the Vancouver Golden Knights. I think the Vancouver Golden Knights are victimized by the fact that they share the same city as Vancouver. It's still the explanation I can hope that they have a good roster. It's not gone great for them. But what is good is the Connor Stars done. It is the first 5-game winning streak in that franchise's history. So, the Ottawa Stars, when they did the last power rankings, I think they were 7th out of 8. Next, they did the power rankings, but they not be 7th out of 8 this time. So, then they go to Vancouver. We'll see. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. You guys find the best the format a little bit tonight. If this was just the 3 games, I can do that. But let me know your thoughts, and like and subscribe. The Soul series has some of the most incredible areas in all of gaming, but it also has some of the worst. Last time we talked about the best areas in each Souls game, but today I want to talk about the worst area from Demon Souls all the way to Heaven. As always, there are times when it's not the best I haven't heard of it. So for the Demon Souls, we have 5 to the Storm of Sodom. 5 regions to in-ring Sodom. This one should come as no surprise. This area is a classic poison swamp, and is undoubtedly the worst area. Really, the thing that makes me dislike this area so much is the way the checkpoints and Demon Souls are set up. Basically, there's only one bonfire per area, so you run for the boss and you get tired. They obviously make this area with the classic FromSoft road cuts. But this area, you pretty much still have to run all the way through every time. The storm is super dark with annoying enemies left and right trying to push you like and slowly make your way through. The remake did add a ring that makes one and block through this storm, but I did not find this on my first playthrough. But once the rain is still the first thing. See how this inspired wonderful areas such as Blighttown and the Fair, and in the future with these frustrated enemies and slow movement, but it makes me smile knowing how much hands-on loves creating these areas. I know these are technically the worst areas in these games, but it really wouldn't be a proper Soul game without it. I think they're nearly all in these areas to get closer and give us further those. Some people in the comments of these buildings are some of their favorite areas. I thought they go that far, and it still makes me happy when they have a special place in my mind. So we have none other than Team Giants. Lost to Isaac comes in a close second with the Giants is the only area I absolutely dread each time I play this game. It's also one of the areas I don't want to go. It's still incredibly difficult to run through. It's me despise playing through the second half of this game. I've said before that I think areas like this are BS. There's really no skill involved in the challenge. They just make it to where you can't see and roll up. It's terrifying enemies. But I will say it does a good job of creating intensity because, good lord, this area is scary. I think it's funny how Souls games at times can be scarier for me than actual horror games. Just try walking into a new area with 100,000 souls and let me know how that goes. I think the justification for the Tomb of Giants